Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United have just drawn 1-1 with West Brom at the Hawthorns. Points dropped yet again, and I can assure that Manchester City are going to win the Premier League. I don't think it was a good performance by Manchester United today. West Brom took the lead within 2 minutes. It was a goal from Diagne. It was a very, very good header as well. A lot of people are saying that goal shouldn't have stood. But do you think Victor Lindelof was partly to blame for West Brom's goal? It was a good cross from Conor Gallagher. Diagne got man of the match. He had 2 fantastic chances in the second half. And obviously David De Gea made a double save. He kept us in the game, David De Gea, to be fair. But Harry Maguire actually got embarrassed because Diagne took the ball off him. Obviously, our equaliser came from a fantastic volley by Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, it was Luke Shaw that got the assist. Harry Maguire, he had a very, very good chance at the end. It was a great header, but it produced a fantastic save from Sam Johnstone. I think he tipped it onto the post. I don't think Harry Maguire was bad today. I think in the first half he got forward quite well. Obviously in the game we had a penalty overturned. Harry Maguire had been brought down. And Harry Maguire said after the match a penalty should have been given. I thought when Mason Greenwood came on, he made a fantastic impact. He had a very, very good chance. Sam Johnstone made a good save. Then just after that, McTominay had a shot. Obviously, it was cleared away by one of the West Brom defenders. So like I say, it wasn't the best of games. But certainly West Brom will be much happier than Man United. We should be beating West Brom, because West Brom are a very, very poor team, like I mentioned on the preview. They've only won 1 game at the Hawthorns all season. And they're sitting 19th in the Premier League, and I think they are going to go back down this season. The game against West Brom at Old Trafford was poor earlier on this season. That came from a controversial penalty decision. That's why we beat West Brom at Old Trafford 1-0 earlier on this season. But I expect us to win the game today. We've only won 1 of our last 5 league games now. West Brom had a few good performers, Diagne, wasn't only the one that performed well. I think Conor Gallagher performed quite well for them. Furlong, he made an impact when he came on. Matis Pereira, he also did quite well. Maitland-Niles had a pretty good game as well for West Brom. Obviously got booked in the game. And Wan-Bissaka for us, I thought he got into some good crossing positions, but couldn't really pull off a decisive cross. And he wasn't really tested at the back and Wan-Bissaka. Lindelof, I thought he enjoyed a poor game. Like I said, do you think he's to blame for the first goal? Obviously his face is being covered by Diagne, so maybe it should have been disallowed. Luke Shaw, I don't think he was brilliant today. He wasn't as good as he has been in recent weeks, but I still think he put a pretty good performance out. You know, Luke Shaw did get forward well again at times. Fred, I thought he enjoyed a poor game. Fred got dispossessed a few times. Scott McTominay, I don't think he enjoyed the best of games either today. You know, Bruno Fernandes, I thought he had a very, very poor game. Obviously, apart from his goal, I think Bruno Fernandes his passing was very, very sloppy. Got dispossessed a few times. It probably is his worst game in a Manchester United shirt. Again, I don't think Rashford was too good. He had some moments here and there where he looked quite lively. Anthony Martial, another poor game for him today. Looked totally anonymous. And Martial has been out of form for the vast majority of this season. You know, Martial was good last season, and he was good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal. This is Martial's, fifth season at the club. He has been at Man United now over 5 years. I think Cavani was quiet as well in the game today. Obviously, we saw Donny van de Beek come on in the game. You know, Donny van de Beek, he's not getting enough chances at Manchester United. And Solskjaer made an admission earlier on this season saying that Donny van de Beek is unhappy at the club because of his lack of game time. Like I said, most of Donny van de Beek's appearances have come from the bench, but Solskjaer's already promised him more game time at the club. He's only started 2 games in the league so far this season, and that was West Ham and Southampton. End of the day, we got him in a deal worth £40 million. We paid 35 million up front and there was 5 million in add-ons. Van de Beek's got a contract with the club until 2025 and he can play in like 3 different roles. But like I say, revert back to what I said about De Gea. Credit to De Gea. He kept us in the game, made a double save within the matter of seconds. Obviously, David De Gea got criticised a lot, reflecting on the 2 mistakes he made in the 3-3 draw with Everton the other week. And obviously Solskjaer's already warned David De Gea that his place is not secure in the Man United team. And Solskjaer has admitted that it's becoming more and more difficult to keep Dean Henderson out of the side. And Gary Neville's actually come out and said that Solskjaer must deal with the goalkeeper situation. But I think David De Gea is going to remain our number 1 for at least this season, like I've already said. You know, he has had good games this season, but in the last couple of years he has made calamitous mistakes. You know, this is David De Gea's 10th season at the football club, so he has been a long servant. By the way, in today's game, I think Solskjaer did make 2 changes from the 3-3 draw with Everton. By the way, our defenders have ignored Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's advice in the game today against West Brom. So that's not good, is it? But yeah, we are now second in the Premier League. But I am very, very infuriated because we've had chances, to close the gap. We've dropped points today. Dropped points against Everton. Should have definitely beaten Everton because we squandered a 2-goal lead. Was leading twice in that game against Everton. Should have beaten Arsenal at the Emirates because we had good chances in that game. Didn't convert them. We should have certainly beaten Sheffield United at Old Trafford. I think we should have won at Anfield because we had 2 fantastic chances in that game from Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. The positive is that we still haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. The last time we lost away from home in the Premier League was to Liverpool back in January 2020. We'd won our last 2 trips to the Hawthorns prior to this game today. Obviously, this was the first time we played West Brom at the Hawthorns today since 2017. We had that very, very good game against West Brom at the Hawthorns back in 2013. It was 5-5, and that was Alex Ferguson's last game in charge of Man United. But we have actually got a very, very good record against them. Our next game is Real Sociedad in the Europa League round of 32, first leg. Don't forget it's going to be played in Turin due to the travel restrictions in Spain. Real Sociedad, don't really follow them, to be honest with you. Either like 5th or 6th in the La Liga. Their current manager, let me know if I pronounce it wrong, is it Emmanuel Aguilassi? I think I've pronounced it correctly, to be honest with you. Obviously, Adnan Januzaj plays for Real Sociedad, so he's going to be reuniting with Man United. Obviously, David Silva plays for them. I think they got David Silva last year. They've got Monreal. They've obviously got that Carlos Fernandes. And our next league game is Newcastle at Old Trafford, and we should be winning that. So, yeah, I've accepted now, we're not going to win the Premier League this season. Even if we'd have won today, I'd have still said, we're not going to win the Premier League and we're not in this title race. Solskjaer did make an admission after our 3-3 draw with Everton. And he did say, didn't he, that we shouldn't be considered as title chasers. So he's admitted that, the title has gone. There's a lot of United fans that don't think we're going to win a title under Solskjaer. We haven't won the Premier League title since 2013. Maybe there's some Man United fans that are now Ollie out after the draw today. I'm not Ollie Gunnar Solskjaer out yet. I'm still Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in at the moment because, like I said, in recent months, I've seen improvements. Certain players have improved. Just going through a bit of a rough patch at the moment, just like Liverpool are. They're going through a very, very bad period. It just happens, doesn't it, to be honest with you? But we certainly need to win a trophy this season. The FA Cup is a chance of a trophy. We're into the quarterfinals of that. And, we've got Leicester in the quarterfinals, and that's going to be a very, very tough game. We are the second most successful team in FA Cup history because we have won 12 FA Cups. And, the Europa League is a chance of a trophy. We haven't won a trophy since 2017, and a club of our stature need to be winning trophies. But this is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's second full season as Manchester United manager. And I think we will get top four this season. I'm very, very sceptical that we'll finish out of the top four. If we do get qualification for the Champions League, I can assure that Solskjaer will sign a new contract. It recently says that Man United will wait until the end of the season to begin contract talks with Solskjaer, and it says we could offer him a new 2-year deal. Solskjaer's got like 16 months left on his current contract at the moment. But he's totally blameless for today's game. He's Solskjaer. Because I think he actually got it right, to be honest with you. You saw my starting 11 prediction. I don't think I was right. Was I like 1 or 2 players off? Obviously, we didn't see Eric Bailly again today. Actually, Solskjaer did confirm in his press conference prior to the game against West Brom that Bailly's been training and he is now back. And I certainly prefer Bailly to Victor Lindelof. But my element of concern about Eric Bailly is that he is injury prone. Obviously, Paul Pogba didn't play any part today. Solskjaer confirmed he's got a thigh injury and he's going to be out for a few weeks with this thigh injury, Paul Pogba. And he's a big miss as well because I think before he got this injury, Paul Pogba, the vast majority of his performances have been very, very good. Paul Pogba did have an ankle injury earlier on this season and he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. Paul Pogba got voted Player of the Month for January, reflecting on his good performances, and he scored an exceptional goal in our 2-1 win against Fulham earlier on this season. But Paul Pogba, there's still a chance that he will leave Man United in the summer. But there again, there's a chance that he'll stay at the club potentially past the summer. Now, don't forget Paul Pogba's agent, Mino Raiola, admits that he's working quietly on Paul Pogba's transfer to avoid offence. And he refused to comment on Paul Pogba's future. And don't forget, Mino Raiola made an announcement back in December regarding Pogba, and obviously Solskjaer was furious with Mino Raiola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig in the Champions League. It said not so long ago that we held talks with Paul Pogba regarding his future, and Solskjaer said that Paul Pogba is happy at Man United and he suggested that he could sign a new contract. Don't forget earlier on this season we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract with Man United until June 2022. Last month, it actually said that Paul Pogba was considering making a U-turn at the club, and he contradicted his agent Mino Raiola for the second time. And not so long ago, Paul Pogba's brother Matthias Pogba was talking about his brother's future, and he actually advised us to sell Paul Pogba in the summer if we are to get the money, because he did mention that he's got no intentions of signing a new contract and he could leave for nothing in 2022, which is next year. We paid £89 million for Paul Pogba, so he is our most expensive signing at the moment. And this is his 5th season at the club since he rejoined. There's 3 clubs that are in for him. There's Real Madrid in for him, Juventus that are in for him, and PSG are in for him. Juventus have approached him again recently. Reports from Italy said that Juventus offered 4 players in exchange for Paul Pogba, but Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus. And This year's summer transfer window is very, very important for Man United. We must make more signings because we're not consistent enough at the moment. And I've given you the three areas where Man United need to strengthen up. You know, we need a striker, we need a world-class midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. Solskjaer did say not so long ago that our summer transfer plans could be affected by the pandemic. But despite the pandemic, I am expected to make signings in the summer. It says we are prepared to smash our transfer record in the summer. And Woodward is set to hand Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a huge war chest to sign top players in all areas. Woodward's got to back him in this summer transfer window, because I think the transfer windows Solskjaer's enjoyed so far, he hasn't been backed enough as Man United manager. He really, really hasn't. You know, yes, Solskjaer has made some good signings since he's come in, but he hasn't obviously got all the players that he wanted to recommend in. And Woodward's come out several times to show his support for Solskjaer. And he did say towards the end of last year that he will back him with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. You know, the board, like I've said before, has been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years. Solskjaer's enjoyed 4 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager, and I've got to say it was a disappointing January transfer window for us, because we only saw one arrival, and that was Amad Diallo Traore. Is he now part of the first team squad? You know, I think he could be a good asset for us. You know, he's been doing well for the under-23s, hasn't he? But like I say, Solskjaer did say a few times during the January transfer window that he wasn't expecting any signings. You know, there has been quite a lot of players on our agenda. It recently said that Man United have a 5-man centre-back shortlist. Obviously, you know, David Carmo from Braga's been on our agenda. Daya Upamecano was on our agenda, but he's going to Bayern Munich, so he's now totally out of the equation for us. You know, Tyrone Mings-He's been another centre-half on our agenda. Rafael Varane, he's been another centre-half on our agenda, but I'm very, very sceptical that Man United will get him. And Jules Koundé from Sevilla, he's been another centre-half on our agenda. Now, it says if we are to get Jules Koundé in the summer, we'll have to pay around £55 million. Now, the AS, which is a Spanish outlet, said that Man United, Real Madrid and Barcelona have made inquiries for Jules Koundé. Jules Koundé's performances for Sevilla have been outstanding this season. I think he's got around the £17 million release clause. Sevilla paid £22 million for him from Bordeaux in the summer of 2019. He's made 70 appearances for Sevilla. He's got a contract with Sevilla until 2024. You already know the news on Jadon Sancho. There's still a chance that we will sign Jadon Sancho in the summer transfer window. Eurosport have recently said that we think we can get Jadon Sancho for just £50 million. That is a bargain. I said I think he's worth from between £60 to £70 million at the most. Bild recently said that Borussia Dortmund have reduced their asking price to £88 million, so they're not 20 million off. And Dortmund are facing a summer of exits, because it said Dortmund could sell up to 8 players this summer to raise funds, but they are expecting Jadon Sancho to leave. Don't forget, last summer Jadon Sancho was our number 1 priority target, but Borussia Dortmund's valuation was £108 million, and we was not willing to meet that valuation. We was only willing to pay, £70 or £80 million up front. But it said a few times last summer that the personal terms had been agreed and the agent fees had been agreed and even a contract and that had been agreed, but we just couldn't come to an agreement on an actual fee, so that was a stumbling block. Dortmund made it clear to us last summer that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We obviously missed out on that deadline, so Sancho remained at Borussia Dortmund. But I think Dortmund have enjoyed a very, very bad season, to their standards anyway. Sancho made an admission earlier on this season saying that he has enjoyed a very difficult season at Dortmund. But as you all know, Solskjaer still wants Erling Haaland at the club. Because Solskjaer recently made a new Erling Haaland transfer admission. You know, he's still following Erling Haaland's progress and he opened up on the Erling Haaland relationship. You know, obviously Solskjaer knows Erling Haaland really, really well. Solskjaer was the one that gave Haaland his debut at Molde at just the age of 16. But, oh yeah, we certainly need to finish in the top 4 this season to get qualification for the Champions League. Obviously, if we win the Europa League, we'll automatically get into the Champions League. But we need Champions League anyway to attract players to the highest level. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I've said to you regarding Solskjaer so many times before, I don't know if he is the long-term manager for Man United. Obviously, you know, time's going to tell. But we'll obviously keep him for now. You know, he deserves credit for some stuff, you know, he's done since he's come in. You know, like I said, he's got us to the FA Cup quarter-final this season. Obviously, Solskjaer wants to get to his first final as Man United manager. You know, he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season, lost 2-0 to Man City. You know, Solskjaer did well last season in his first full season at the club, got us qualification for the Champions League, got us third in it, guided us to 3 semi-finals, and also to his credit, he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into Man United. And I'm expecting probably more players to leave Man United in the summer. And like I said, we've enjoyed good periods under Ole, but I think we do deserve credit for sticking with him because he could have easily been sacked as Man United manager because we have enjoyed very, very bad periods under him. Solskjaer's been criticised a lot as Man United manager, especially earlier on this season, reflecting how inconsistent we was. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's been Man United manager now over 2 years. We appointed Solskjaer in December 2018. In his first 3 months at the club, he was the interim manager, did very, very well in that period, so we give Solskjaer the job permanently back in March 2019. A lot of United fans did say, you know, we're giving the job too soon. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, if we did sack Solskjaer, to be honest with you, it wouldn't really solve a lot anyway. And plus, if we was to sack him, there's no one available, is there? You know, Pochettino's out of the equation. You know, he's at PSG. You know, Thomas Tuchel's at Chelsea, and Chelsea have done well since Thomas Tuchel's taken over. And we're not even really known as a sacking club anyway, despite the fact we've sacked 3 managers since Ferguson retired. Obviously, we sacked Moyes, we sacked Van Gaal, and we sacked Jose Mourinho. But to be honest with you, I think Solskjaer's handled the pressure well at Man United because obviously when he was close to getting sacked and that, obviously maybe some managers in that situation, you know, maybe would have resigned before they had the chance to get sacked. But we need to start winning games, we really, really do. You know, we've got to start that off by beating Sociedad in Europe, we've got to beat Newcastle. Got to beat Sociedad in the second leg, you know, we're away to Chelsea at the end of this month, you know, that's going to be a very, very tough game as well. But, you know, when Solskjaer came in, he knew it was a massive job, despite him knowing the culture of the club and all of that. You know, he knew he had to come in and bring that consistency back, and in certain periods he has done that. He knew he had to come in and bring the right players in. that would obviously be right for Man United. He knew he had to come in and get rid of a lot of the deadwood, which he has done to his credit. So there you go. But he's never going to do what Ferguson did, and no manager at Man United, or no manager in general, is going to do what Sir Alex Ferguson did, and that's something we have got to accept. But anyway, on my next video, I will be giving you my player ratings from this game. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.